I said I wanted to put a more powerful scope to really test the accuracy of this, and I have. Unfortunately, I couldn't put the delta on because I don't have any 30mm rings for this, or bases to fit the rings. And so I've put the Chinese Woltis on it. Now, what I'm going to do is, if this does fail, I'll have a competition, a giveaway, if you can guess how many rounds it took to blow this thing up. So, yeah, I'm envisaging that this scope will fall apart. It only cost me 150 Australian, but you never know. So if it does last, no one gets anything. If it does blow up, there's a competition to see how many rounds it took. The old Woltis. Great looking scope. A really nice scope actually, but the proof's in the pudding because it's only been shot on the Hornet and smaller calibers. So we'll see what happens. Okay, first two shots, and the old Woltis hasn't exploded, so I've got high hopes for it. Hopefully when I fire 100 shots through it, it won't have exploded. But never know. We'll see how we go. I've just come back from the local rifle range where I shoot at, which is not very local. It's 100 kilometres away, and it was really hot there. It's not as hot here because it was quite still there for a change. The wind did pick up after a while, but it was still for a very long time. It only really picked up in the last couple of hours. And I was there right to the end. I was the last person to leave because I had a whole bunch of hand loads that I'd made up, and I'll show you the results of that to test out on this. Now, first of all, you know what, it's only 33 degrees. I had a look at the thermometer, it's probably wrong, but it's on a cheap thermometer, but 33 degrees, which is 86 Fahrenheit, which you think, well, that's not very hot. Yeah, but the humidity must be about 99% because we've had a little bit of rain. We had some rain last night and yesterday, and last night, and that's just sweat. So, oops, I'm imbibing. It's been a long day again. My new favourite, Pirate Life South Coast Pale Ale. Oh, this stuff is just unbelievable. Oh, that is so good. Now, I'll start off by talking, well, I'll do an update on this Woltis 6-24 by 56 scope that I purchased. It's from China, from a site called, I'm pretty sure I bought it from Greenbase. I'm pretty sure I bought it from Greenbase. They sell a lot of airsoft stuff and that, and rails and whatnot for airsoft, but you can put it on the real guns, and mounts, and that's red dots, and they also, and they had two scopes that they sold, and they had this one, the 100, I think it was $160 Australian at the time, and I thought, oh yeah, all right, that's not going to be very good. Well, when I originally did the Woltis review, I was pleasantly surprised at just that it was pretty good. The clarity is nowhere near, you know, Leopold or Delta or any of the real name brands, but it's good. It's still very good. And up till today, I've only ever had it, the biggest weapon that I've had it on, or the biggest caliber that I've mounted it on, was 17 Hornet, which is not really a test of a scope because 17 Hornets, yeah, it's still got recoil, but just negligible. So it's not really a test of the scope. So after doing the accuracy tests with the Steyr with this, the Leopold VX Freedom, like the clarity on that is just amazing. With the VX Freedom 4 to 12 and 12 power, I was so impressed by the potential, the accuracy potential of this rifle, that I wanted to put a bigger power scope on it. Now, I don't have mounts for this rifle. The only ring mounts that I've got is these tallies, and they're a 1 inch, so I couldn't put the delta on here. I didn't really want to take it off the howl, but I wanted to put a bigger scope on here, and I thought, hey, guess what? Well, I can kill 2 birds with 1 stone. I can seriously test this scope, right? Shooting 270 and shooting over 100 rounds of 270. Yeah, you're going to test the scope of the construction of it. If a scope can withstand over 100 rounds of 270, and some of it was pretty hot, then it's clearly a durable scope. And it did. It withstood all of that. Like, I was originally going to do a competition, a giveaway. If it did, yeah, self-destroy, if I destroyed it, if it did fall apart, I was going to have a giveaway contest where you would have to guess how many rounds it took to destroy it. Well, you're not getting anything because it didn't come apart. And not only did it not come apart, but one of, if not the smallest group that I shot for the day was the second last group. That, 100 rounds and then, you shoot a tiny little group. So this scope is still working perfectly. So I had every intention of buying a second one because I was so impressed with it, but when I went back on the site to buy a second one a little while later, they removed them and they said not available, this scope is not available anymore. I'm not sure why. I really don't know why, because I can tell you right now that this scope is definitely worth 160 Australian dollars. And I've had a few Chinese scopes, a lot of scopes. You'd be surprised how many scopes are made in China. And they don't even come close to this. This is a seriously good scope for what you're paying. The clarity, obviously the glass is subpar, but it's still good. It's still really good at 24. And one of the things that surprised me that there's no chromatic aberration. When if you have a look around and you see all like a bit of rainbow effect here and there and that, zero chromatic aberration with this. So that really surprised me. I'd never really thought about that before, but then after shooting a fair few rounds through it, I was just sort of moving I was looking for it. I was looking for the chromatic aberration, and it doesn't exist. So, kudos to the people who make Woltis, whoever makes it. It's probably sold under a few different names, but whoever makes it, kudos. You've done a really great job. And it's got such great features, like it's got a built-in bubble, it's got 3 colour illuminated reticle, side parallax. It's got, if you want to adjust the turrets, there's actually, you have to unlock them. Okay, so you can do your clicks, your adjustment, and then there's this locking ring, and it locks it. And it came with covers, and for 160 Australian, delivered to my door, I think it was 160 Australian if I remember rightly. This thing is just, really, really impressed me. So if you do see this scope for sale, the Woltis, buy one. I don't hesitate in advising anyone to do it. So anyway, that's enough of the scope. And I was fully expecting, I bring this along, the VX3, I was sure, you know what? I was 99.99 recurring positive that I was going to be mounting this back on after not long. and it just didn't happen. So what a fantastic scope, what great value. So I'll get rid of this contraption, and we'll talk about the rifle now. So I've put about 200 rounds through it. Now it's got a really skinny barrel. Like, that barrel just goes down to nothing. It's got a really skinny barrel, and yet it is capable of quite astounding accuracy. Even though, you know, it's 24 power this scope. Yeah, the glass is second rate. I have no, you know, hesitation in saying that. The glass is you know, not even. It's okay. It's good, but you know, compared to Leopold or, yeah, like I said, Delta or whatever, it's good, but still, you know, it's not right up there. Now, the only what issues have I had with the rifle up till now? Let's see. The magazine works fantastic. It's one of the easiest centerfire magazine, or actually the easiest magazine, I have to say, to load that I've ever used. The bolt, I have got just on one of the corners of one of the forward locking lugs. There's a burr, so there's obviously defect in the locking lug recess, and it's caused a burr to. It's not a massive burr or anything, but I'll get a stain and I'll hone it out. That is the one and only defect that I've been able to find on this rifle. That's it. Like, that is it. So, what a fantastic rifle. Now, down to the nitty gritty. Now, so I had a whole bunch. You know, I was talking about that Steyr Mannlicher, big round nose stuff. Did I shoot them all? I think I shot them all. I did, didn't I? You know, massive round nose on it. Where is it? 150 grain. Have I got any left? No, shot them all off. Yeah, the Steyr Mannlicher 150 grains. Where is it? Yeah, it's a big round nose soft point. I can show you what the soft point looks like, because these are the 130 grainers. So it's a big, flat, round, you know, yeah, it just doesn't look like anything that's going to perform at all. Well, I only had 5 left, pardon me. I only had 5 left. Steyr Mannlicher 150 grain soft nose round point. And originally that one group that I showed last time was really good. This one, not so much, 1.9, so I was a bit sort of, yeah, disappointed with that. I was expecting better, but it's only one group. And you have to remember that a lot of these groups were shot with the barrel not cold, sort of warm, and then with the barrel smoking hot. It only takes like 10 rounds in that barrel, you can't hold on to it, you know. 270 really is a fast, you know, it's a mover, and it's only a skinny barrel, and that barrel would just be cooking after 10 rounds, you know. In fact, it would get so hot that I couldn't do 3 5-round groups in a row, like one after the other. I'd have to wait for it to, you know, at least get warm. Let's see, what do we got here? We got Hornady 150 grain SSTs. Now, had a really big flyer. Well, yeah, had a big flyer that doubled the size of the group. With the flyer, it was 1.9, but without the flyer, it was 0.83. And so there's only 2 groups. Some of the, because I had like 7 different types of projectiles, so I did, you know, I was limited to the brass that I had, because I got a Neil and refurb a heap of it. So some of the stuff I only had 10 rounds for 2 groups. Some of the stuff I had 15 rounds for 3 groups. But I only had 10 rounds for 2 groups with this. And like I said, without the flyer it was 0.83, with the flyer at 1.9. Now, the brass that I was using to make the hand loads is, this time anyway, was Hornady brass, and I got serious issues with it because neck tension. So I would not be surprised if a lot of the flyers that you see will be because of neck tension. Even though I did give everything a slight lee crimp, factory crimp, to try and level everything out, but it doesn't. That really doesn't account for massive differences in neck tension. Like differences where it'd be like just the bullet would just go straight in, and then others where I was forcing it in. So a huge difference in neck tension. I've got a Hornady neck turning tool coming, but that Hornady brass, and I don't remember having that problem with the PPU brass because I've also got some PPU brass. But Hornady brass, this is the second caliber that I have serious issues with Hornady brass. You really are making some garbage Hornady. Quite honestly, I'm not exaggerating. The difference in neck tension is. So I was trying to group the ones with less neck tension, together, and the ones with more neck tension together. But there was such a wide variance in that tension that. So anyway, enough of that. Enough of bagging Hornady brass. Now, so the first group was 1.9 with a big flyer. Without the flyer, 0.83. And then the second group was an inch. So, yeah, 150 grain SSTs. Yeah, not bad. More 150 grain SST. Oh, so I had some 150 grain SSTs left over from last time. So there was two different seating depths. That one was, it's not an actual measurement, it's just a datum measurement. This one was, that one was further out. This one was a shorter one, and I don't know exactly what happened here, but I had one 3-shot group of 0.68. I don't know why I only shot 3 there, and then I had a 5-shot group here that was 1.5 with 2 flyers, but without the 2 flyers I've got 3 touching here at 0.42. So I have absolutely no doubt that's neck tension, because when you've got 3 rounds touching and then 2 way over here, yeah, that would have been the neck tension. Because I'm meticulous about, one thing that I can be meticulous and accurate about is the powder measurement. I'm measuring to 5/100ths of a grain, yeah, not 0.5 of a grain, 0.05 of a grain. Now, Steyr and Bellow 130s. Now, so I sort of sighted it in. Then what happened was, those 4 are siders. They're not a part of this group. This group, 3-shot group, was 0.33 of an inch. What happened? I sort of screwed up, because what happened was I was looking at the spent cases, and I'm looking at it. I'm going, oh, crap! That primary is just flattened out totally. I thought, oh, I'm having pressure issues here. I'll back off and not shoot this anymore. So I only did a 3-shot group, but that 3-shot group was 1/3 of an inch. But later on, I was mucking around with the ammo, and then I've had a look at the unfired rounds and realised that that's how these primers are that come with this ammunition. They are as flat as a shit carter's hat. Like there's no radius there at all. They are just super flat. I don't know what brand primer they are. So anyway, I was tossing up because I thought I was having pressure issues. Should I go back there? But that was the 3-round group, 0.33 of an inch with the Steyr and Bellow round nose soft point 130 grainers. Which are those? So I'll get back to that. Then Sierra 140 grain Game Kings. Now, again, had flyers. So the first group was 1.1, pretty good. The second group was 1 without the flyer. With the flyer, it was 2.3. That's a big flyer. Then the third group was 1.2 without the flyer, 2.2 with the flyer. So I'm pretty sure that that's what that flyer was about. I think. I don't know. I could be talking shit, you know. And no doubt I'll get some comments saying, you probably are. Now, 145 grain Hornady ELDXs. Again, without the flyer, 0.755 an inch, with the flyer, 1.7. That's a big flyer. Right? Something's obviously not kosher there. Then the second group was a 1.15. That's pretty good, again. So this rifle is really capable of some really good accuracy, like really. Then the 100 grain Spear hollow points, massive hollow point on them. With the flyer, it was actually no, that's right. I'm discounting that flyer because I know that I pulled that one. Like quite literally, I saw, you know, my point of aim move as I fired it. So disregard that flyer. So without that flyer, it's 0.76. Yeah, it doesn't mind the lightweight bullets. Then actually that was the second group. This was the first group, and it was 0.89 without a flyer. Again, a flyer with 1.45. And then this group is 1.614, and it's again 3 rounds within about half an inch, and then another 2 flies. So probably neck tension. I don't know. Now, here we go. Yeah, I'll show you that in a minute. So 115 grain Sierra Match Kings. Very consistent, not the smallest groups, but very consistent. So the first group was 1.1. Everything's 5 shots, or most of it anyway. 1.1, 1.3, 0.97. So the 115 grain Sierra Match Kings, and I've always had a lot of time for Sierra Match Kings. Very, very consistent. Now, here we go. Hornady 130 grain SSTs, 0.586 of an inch. Yeah, half an inch. That was the second group. The first group was 1, and again, this one I know I pulled, so I'm disregarding that one. So 1, 1.1, and 0.586. So 130 grain SSTs, yes. 130 grains, so from that I've deduced that 130 grains is its preferred bullet weight, because check this out. So I've been there all day. I'm the last person there. The range master comes over. He's a really nice guy, Ken. And he comes over and he says, "Oh, you know, how you going? How much have you got left to shoot?" And I said, "Oh, I just want to shoot one more group, because this group that I just shot looks like it's half an inch through the scope. Like, yeah, it looks tiny." He says, "Oh, yeah, no worries, okay." So I was under the pump. I was under the pressure from him. Like he said, you know, take your time, shoot as many groups as you want, but you know what I'm saying. He wanted to get the hell out of there. And it was a long day. And then when I shot this group, that barrel was hot, like really hot. Oh, after I'd shot this group, the barrel was smoking. I couldn't touch it, right? And I know a lot of people are going to comment and say, "Well, you should wait for the barrel to cool down," and blah, 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 blah. Yeah, you know what? I don't like babying rifles. If the thing's got issues with hot barrels, then yeah, it's not very good. I'm not target shooting, like competition shooting. And in any case, yeah, we're talking about copper against carbon steel. I mean, I know which one wins out. Yeah, but I know a lot of experts are going to come out and say, "Oh, you know, you're going to destroy your throat, your chamber, you're not going to have any barrel life, rah, rah, rah." Yeah, whatever. So, the second last group I shot was 0.476. It's a ragged hole. yeah, and I was just sitting there looking at that group going, wow, I need to shoot another group. And he's come over and he's put the hard word on me, you know, because he wants to go, and then I'm waiting for the barrel to cool down. I got it that hot that it just wouldn't cool down, and then I hurried the next group. It's 1.7. I've got no excuse, you know, like without this flyer, there would have been what? There would have been without the flyer, it would have been. But I know I didn't pull it. I was just, you know, hurried. It would have been less than an inch. Without the flyer, it would have been less than an inch. But I hurried it. And also the other issue was the barrel was still smoking hot, and you know the day had heated up, and the Mirage, like, you know, I've got the dot on the target, and the target's just I've got the rifle dead steady, and the target's, you know, just jumping around from Mirage, and it was, I thought, this group is a waste of time. It's going to be a pile of shit, and it was. But think about that. This is the sort of accuracy this rifle is capable of. 0.586 of an inch with the 130 grain SSTs, half an inch. 0.476 with the Steyr Mannlicher 130 grains. The most amazing thing about this, and Ken came over and I said to him, what do you think of bullets that look like that? And he looked at it and he went, yeah, I don't have a very high regard of that. I mean, it's a big round nose, you know, big round soft point. Alright, you would think there's no way you're going to get any decent accuracy out of that. And yet, the smallest group, 5-shot group, the smallest 5-shot group that I shot, 0.476 of an inch, was with this stuff. Just, it's cheap, you know. Steyr Mannlicher, made in Czech Republic, big soft round nose on it. But, so in summing up, what I've been able to discern is that 130 grain is where it's happy at. And this Steyr Mannlicher 130 grain round nose stuff is just, yeah. Through this rifle anyway, it's gold. It's really good. You know, it was a really, really long day, and I really didn't want to travel any further towards town to buy more of the stuff. I'll buy it later. I was just knackered, like really tired. So, in summing, what I'll do is I'll take this fantastic Chinese scope off the Woltis. It's performed flawlessly, really, really well. Surprised me totally. And I'm going to put the VX Freedom back on there for hunting, and so I won't hesitate in putting the Woltis on a whole heap of other stuff, because wow, like really, you fire over 100 rounds at 270 and the scope just, well, I know that it performed great because the smallest group that I shot, was the second last group of, I can't remember how many groups, of over 100 rounds. So what a fantastic little scope. Not little. Yeah, if you do see it somewhere, if you do come upon it somewhere, a Woltis, Woltis scope, 6-24, don't hesitate in picking it up. Again, the Steyr, you know, that skinny barrel, just to be able to shoot like that is just, yeah, unbelievable. So I'm really, really happy. I'm really, really happy that the scope held up and is still working just as good as the first day I got it. And I'm really happy with this rifle, the Steyr. Yeah, it's the real deal. The only beef that I really have is that the magazine cost $199 Australian, which is just insane. And this burr on the locking lug, but yeah, I'll just hone that off, and yeah, won't be having it again. So, hope you enjoyed all that. I'm knackered, I'm really tired, and I'll say see you later and cheers. See you later.